All right, welcome to a special Let's Talk Short Track Racing. I'm Alec Jorgensen, alongside here remotely, Frank Fryer. Frank, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good. Yeah, we're down here in the midst of South Alabama Speedway, doing some testing today and getting ready for the race this weekend.
Man, it's shaping up to be a pretty big week of racing here. Weather might be a factor here, but everybody seems to be pretty excited for this thing to go on.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping the weather holds out. I think we're down here in the motorhome, so this is the the Cryer studio right now in the motorhome. But yeah, the weather. They're talking Saturday afternoon from 5 o'clock on out. It's going to be a little rough, and then actually Thursday we're supposed to have open practice tomorrow. Might be a washout. I'm not sure, but weathermen are like lawyers. They're all liars. So I I hope they're lying and we can get this thing in. There's a lot of cars here and a lot of practicing, and we're looking forward to seeing what we can put together today.
Well, you've been at the track here for a hot minute, it seems like, ever since Sunday, right? Yeah, that's when you headed up to South Alabama Speedway?
Yeah, we left, we raced Auburndale. We practiced on Friday, raced on Saturday, and then we left at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning to get over here. It's a 7-hour drive. And then we got here Sunday and then practiced on Monday and Tuesday. Our team needed some test time with these new cars and just trying to get out here on the track and seeing what it's like. And I've been here a long time ago with Cole Anderson, so it's been a while. But getting Kendrick out here, and actually Kendrick was in both the Pro, the Super, and Nick Super. Nick had to work this week, so Kendrick's been in the race car quite a bit. But getting our cars, I feel like our Supers are fast, pretty good right now. We're watching what guys are turning today and where we're at. I feel like our Super stuff's really good. Our Pro stuff is close. We're still need a little bit of work on that though, but we'll get it.
Man, it's going to be an exciting weekend. So, you've got racing Thursday night, Friday night, and weather permitting Saturday night as well. Sunday is going to be the rain out date, right? That's what the plan is?
Yeah, I don't know what happens if it rains out Saturday and it rains out Sunday, because even Sunday's looking like rain in the forecast. But I hope the rain holds off. Like I said, it looks like it keeps getting pushed out and the percentage goes down. So that is the rain date is on Sunday. So I'm hoping we get this thing in on Saturday night for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the goal, is to get it off at the advertised time with the advertised distance. But, as a crew chief like yourself, you kind of got to look out for all contingencies, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything that we're trying to do, because, these tires are awesome. Like I said in our other podcast, American Racer tires are a really good tire. I mean, we're literally out here testing on old race tires that we practiced on twice at two different tracks, and we're out here practicing on them. And I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, we're turning laps that are 2/10 off the qualifying, lap that they qualified last year. Now, obviously, last year was a different, maybe a little different weather. I wasn't here last year. They say it was pretty close, but I mean, they were saying the pole was a 45, I think, in the Super, and in the Pro was like a 75 or something. I'm not even sure, but I mean, we're right there turning that with used tires. So I feel like if we're that close right now on that, but like I said, that's 2 different years. A lot happens in a year. We're making these cars faster and whatnot, but for us, it's the first time here. So, I mean, I feel pretty positive what we're trying to get done too. And for our team to have that much time practice, we just needed that anyway, Alec, just to get the car, just to find this track. But right out of the box, Kendrick was pretty good.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, he's a good little shoe and great at kind of feeling these things out, especially at a new track right now. It seems like all he's doing, right?
I mean, every race we've gone to is new to him. We went to Auburndale. He ended up 5th in the first feature, ended up 4th in the second feature. I thought we had a better race, like me and you were talking. I thought we had a better race than what we were doing, but we did find something from that race with the shocks. So, I mean, now that we found it, we got down here, we took them shocks off the car. One of them cars did come down with us from that race, and we were just going through it, and we found some stuff. But like I said, when you're at the track in the heat of the moment, and then you're setting your shocks up, but then you get to the track and you're doing a sweep, you're just thinking, wow, okay, that's what it is. And here you find out it's something completely different what it was, and you're not even noticing that much. Our sweeps were quite a different on the shock. But that's on me, that's on the crew chief myself. So, but yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It sounds like you're learning and growing, and that's the first year of a whole new team, right?
There's so much inexperience in the team itself, like just all the new kids that race for Grant, that are working for Grant, that go racing with us. They're just, Frank, what do I need to do? You have a plan, everybody's planned out, but then the heat of the moment comes in. We had a couple of them come down today. They get out, they just drove 7.5 hours, to get here, and they're still sleeping, and then here we're into this thing third day, with a slim group. It's me, Grant, Kendrick, my wife, and we had Vaughn and Nate with us, so it was just us getting the cars ready and doing our thing. And you kind of had that clock with them, and then all of a sudden you got 2 or 3 more guys showing up, and then Nick's coming tonight, I think, and he'll be here tomorrow. So now you got a whole other car. But Kendrick's been in all 3 cars, so it's kind of funny. He's been in the car since Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So he's
Hey, that's all you could ask for, right? All right, so we've got a real jam-packed show here today. Obviously, we've got you guys straight from the track. I've got Daniel Webster joining us. He just finished preparing his super late model. He'll be calling in here within the next 10 minutes or so. We've also got Jake Wilson, the voice of UARA, joining the show. And then after that, we've got, I believe, the spotter, the head spotter for Grant Thormeyer Racing. I think his name's Brett. We're throwing this together as we can, and it looks like Ryan from South Alabama Speedway might be calling in as well. So, going to be a jam-packed week of racing. Going to be a jam-packed show for us today as well.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll go ahead and cut it to commercial here, and then we'll get started with our first guests starting to come aboard here in just a few moments. Please hold for technical difficulties.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. Allick here with Frank, and
Well, so far we, a lot of supers and pros, a lot of pros here. I mean, actually, the pro late model division is pretty steep here. Um, everybody's here testing right now. I mean, you got Jet Nolan and Stephen Nassy, and they all got their supers and pros. Jet, I think, is just running a pro. He didn't bring a super at all, so it sounds like he's just bringing his pro and running. But I mean, there's a lot of names here that they're testing today and yesterday. There was cars here too. You have Michael Hine. He was here testing both pro and super. And I mean, and just even the local racing, the sportsman cars are here. There's I think they're going to have a pretty good size group of Crown Vics racing too, the way it sounded. So it should be a great weekend for the fans. And this race is their big this is kind of like, I should say, end of the year, their big race. Now they have been talking about doing an end of year special with this program. So that'd be cool. That might be coming down the pipeline. I just heard some things while I was here on site, that they might have an end of the year. So this will be like their kind of beginning of the year opener deal, then going right into the end of the year deal. So, but yeah, a lot of action right now. Campers are all here. Vendors are here. Yeah, kind of all hands on deck. It's crazy. It's Wednesday and it's that busy already. So it reminds me back home at the Oktoberfest, how busy it is here right now for a Wednesday.
It's crazy. I was kind of thinking the same thing. It's a very Oktoberfest kind of vibe. Everybody from the southeast has come down here, and they all want to win. They all want their fair shake at the Rattler.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And like I said, just racing, running this race like this is their big deal here in Alabama. I was stopping at a gas station on the way in, and then, they asked, "Oh, where are you from?" And I said, "Oh, we're from Wisconsin, but we're out of Lakeland, Florida now." But and they said, "Oh, there must be something big going on out at the racetrack. We see a lot of like callers and things going on out there." And John has the track. I mean, just super cleaned up, painted. It looks. I like this little place. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been here, and but no, very well groomed. They got everything mowed real nice. The grass is green. The trees are budding. It just, yeah, it looks really, really cool out here.
No, it's an awesome facility. John Dykes and his staff really know how to do it. When you first walked in to the racetrack, what was the first thing you noticed?
Well, Frank's place. I did. The little building's called Frank's place, but first thing I noticed is just the white paint. Just very well groomed. Everything mowed real nice, and it just, the green grass. It just makes it feel like, okay, spring is here. They had what he was talking 11, 12 inches of snow at one time for a moment, and then they had freezing weather, and then here it is. It's yesterday I think it was 73 degrees. Day before it was 75 degrees. Today it was beautiful. Sun's out. In fact, I got my face is burnt up a little bit, so it's just beautiful weather. We're supposed to have mid 70s the whole time here, so it should be a great race, great for the fans, and just hopefully that rain stays away. And maybe the rain is just a fictitious thing. I don't know. It doesn't look like rain, but tonight it's supposed to come in. We'll see what happens for sure.
Yeah, hopefully it stays away. Last thing we want to do is introduce rain to a weekend at the racetrack for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
well, we're sorry.
No, I was wondering, Alec, you're coming down here, right? You'll be here live. On Did you coming in Thursday or Friday? Is that when you're planning coming?
Yes, sir. Yes. So be coming up Friday morning. Hopefully by then all the weather will be out of the area. Well, we can only hope.
Awesome.
And then we'll be uh, working on some content stuff for our clients here Friday night. And then Saturday we'll be shooting the race for Racing America. So should be a pretty fun weekend.
Yeah, and I seen the Race America trailer here. That all came into the American Racer Tires is here. That came in this morning, or actually last night they were here. But yeah, everything's ready to go. So
that's what you want to hear. All the partners are there early. Everybody is on site. Um, and speaking of partners, we just got to take a moment. Just go ahead and talk about our partners, Joe's Racing Products and Bassett Wheels. Frank, you've got a real good relationship with the folks there. Can you talk a little bit about their products?
yeah, Joe's Racing. They're Joe and that racing, but Five Star does a great job. And then, you know, Carl and Corey Schultz, friends of mine that own Five Star Bodies. Yeah, we got great partners and like I said, them guys, they're family to me. I've seen them my whole life in racing since the 90s, pretty much all of them. So, and then Joe's Racing, they actually they worked with me a lot on my super late model back in Wisconsin, and now down here with, you know, with the things that we have in our cars here, trying to get their new Joe's hubs is it's a strong no flex hub. You know, you got Willwood, some of these other hubs, they're light hubs, but yeah, great partners on our podcast. But yeah, so it looks like we got somebody on, huh?
Yeah, yeah. It looks like we've got both Jake and Daniel Webster coming online here. We'll see who joins first. Whoever is able to connect their video first, uh, they'll get the first interview. How about that?
I see
There we go. We
there we
got
got
Jake.
somebody on.
Jake, go ahead and turn your camera sideways. There you go, buddy. All right. Hey, that's par for the course, man. There we go.
I'm wearing my shirt, so I look legit.
There you go. All right. Hey, we got our good buddy Jake Wilson here. Jake, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Just getting set and ready to go for a busy weekend up at Op, and excited to get the opportunity to go back to the Rattler again. Anytime you get the opportunity or the chance to get to announce one of the biggest super late model races of the year, it's kind of hard to say no to that. So I'm really excited to get to go there, and it's such a cool racetrack, such a cool community, and such an awesome event for their area, and great to be there again with UARA, and happy to be a part of it, and glad that Ricky Brooks continues to keep me on the payroll and keeps inviting me to these awesome events.
Man, it's shaping up to be an exciting weekend. You know, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Well, I mean, to me, it's such a cool idea, and it's such a cool concept for a race weekend, because I think we're pretty spoiled down here in Florida. We don't really get much of an off season, and our previous season always seems to kind of roll right into the next season, and there really isn't a whole lot of pop and circumstance to kind of start the year. But for the Rattler, for South Alabama Speedway, this is their Daytona 500. This is their single biggest event of the year. And for a lot of the local drivers that are going to be competing on Thursday, they've been itching to get back out on track and show what they've done in the off season. And then for the pro lates and for the supers, I kind of feel like I don't want to take away from some of the other races that happen, during the World Series and things like that. But I feel like this is almost kind of the big kickoff to the year, to where this kind of leads in to some of the bigger crown jewel events that we'll see throughout the course of the year. And for some drivers, that are, coming down from up north, this might be their first opportunity to get back on track for several months. I know we've got a few drivers that raced with us back at the Bigley, but I mean, that was over almost 4 months ago now. So they've got to be itching to get back out on track. And just thinking of it in terms of the locals there in Op, this is their only super late model race they get to see all year. This is their only pro late model race they get to see all year. So the fans just love this event. They support it so much. The Dykes family does such a great job in promoting this event. And it's an event where I had the chance to go with you guys a few years ago. Didn't get a chance to call the race, but just to be there and experience everything and take it all in. And then now getting the opportunity to come back and announce it along with Ryan McCullough now for the second year is just such a cool opportunity. And I'm so happy to get to be a part of it.
What are a couple of names, looking at this entry list, that you're most excited to see?
Well, there's this guy from Sonoya, Georgia, who's pretty good. He's kind of made a name for himself, especially in this event. Bubba's been the man to beat there the last 2 years, and it's looking up the numbers and looking up the stats. This is going to be his 22nd start in the Rattler this year, which is just crazy. He's got a chance to win 3 in a row. He'd only be the second driver to ever do that, and he would join another super late model ace in Ty Majeski in doing that. And if he were to win, it would be his 4th ever win in the race, and that would surpass legendary, short tracker Ronnie Sanders. So there's a lot of history on the line and a chance for Bubba to kind of extend that win streak, kind of add to his already impressive legacy and resume. But don't stop there. I mean, if you look down the list, I know there's been a little bit of criticism online that I've seen that, the car count isn't the highest that it's been. But the quality of driver and the quality of cars that we're going to have there between Stephen Nasse, Michael Hine coming off the big World Crown 300 win back at Cordeal last year. You've got some drivers coming from the Midwest like Gabe Summers. You're going to have Austin Nason, who now it's looking like the Rattler is becoming a tradition for them. And a lot of our drivers from down in our area, down here in the Central Florida area, this has really kind of become something where a lot of drivers normally wouldn't support this event, but a lot of it, I think, has to do with Ricky Brooks's involvement over the last few years, where you're starting to get a lot more drivers from Florida to venture up and travel that 7, 8, 9 hours to be a part of this.
Yeah, one of those being our next guest, Daniel Webster. He's standing patiently by. I told him I'd only steal him for 15 minutes, but I might have lied a little bit. Sorry, buddy. I can see him smiling in the corner of my camera here. But no, we'll have him on here in just a minute. But looking into some of these support divisions, obviously you get a lot of cars and a lot of drivers that you might not see every weekend. Can you talk a little bit about some of the folks that we're looking to see?
Well, it's big too, especially if you're talking for some of the local divisions, chance to have their race broadcast this weekend on Racing America. So big opportunity for them, big opportunity for their sponsors, big opportunities for their race teams to get a lot of eyes, because a lot of eyes in the short track world, if there's nothing going on this weekend elsewhere, or you're sitting around the house, people are going to be tuning in and watching this race this weekend. So it's a big opportunity for them, to race on Thursday night in the local division. On Friday night, you're going to have modifieds and road runners that are going to be a part of that. I'm excited for the modified race, because I know the modifieds is typically their top division that they'll run weekly there. And Cody Brusso has been so good there as of late. Nice to see a couple drivers from down in our area are going to venture up there. Like Dodge Carlbert's going to pull double duty. Bubba Van Devender's coming up from Cape Coral to be a part of this as well. And I just think it's cool for me, because there's a lot of drivers I'm not really familiar with a whole lot outside of getting up here and getting to cover the Rattler. So I rely very heavily on my on my buddy Ryan McCullough to kind of steer me through and help me with some of the local drivers. But for them, I love it. The opportunity to get a win on Rattler weekend is something very special. And for a lot of these drivers, they'll talk. I think if I remember a couple drivers saying last year, forget some of the other weekends of the year. If they can get a win on Rattler weekend to get their season started, it almost feels like a championship type win for them. So I'm curious to see how the locals turn out. I'm hoping to see, the weather cooperate. I know that's been a big topic of concern. But I know the people that are in charge there, from everyone at the racetrack to everyone on Ricky's team and UARA, they're going to do absolutely everything they can to make sure that we get the races in. I thought they made a great call last year to move the event and kind of condense it into like a 1 day, instead of, we kind of took Saturday and Sunday and combined it into that 1 day. I'm going to be curious to see how the weather does affect. I mean, Ryan's talked about it before, where it's like, if there's a drought or your area is struggling for precipitation, go ahead and schedule the Rattler that weekend. You'll get some weather. It's almost like whenever NASCAR rolls into town. If you're experiencing a drought, NASCAR will change that for you. So I'm hoping for the best this weekend, but I know everybody will do the best they can. We can't control the weather, but we can certainly try to make it the best experience for the fans. And we also want to look out for all the drivers and for all the teams that are traveling from all over the country to be a part of this.
Well, we definitely got to commend the promoters for thinking about the teams and the fans, pushing the racing to Saturday night and making sure that we have Sunday as a rain date just in case. So,
yeah.
All right, man. Well, I won't take up too much more of your time here. I've got Daniel waiting, so I'm going to let him join the chat here, and we'll keep this rolling.
I appreciate it. Yep.
Technology. There we go. Daniel Webster, you hear me, sir?
Yep, I got you.
All right. Welcome to the Let's Talk Short Track Racing with me and Frank. Frank is on the other end of Zoom here, so uh, he's just listening along. What's going on at the shop? You haven't even left yet.
I literally just finished loading the Super about 5 minutes ago. I'm actually going to go back to work for a couple more hours. I have the Martin's siblings trucks here. Their debut season premiere. Sorry, I'm too tired for words. It's New Smyrna this weekend. I'm trying to finish their trucks up for them. Yeah, I'm excited to get up there. I've never actually raced South Alabama. We were there with the Sportsmans last year, but I had somebody else renting my car. I've crewed there once or twice over the years, but just don't, for whatever reason, I never really had the budget to go to the Rattler with it being spread out multiple days and stuff like that. I just, most of my career, I didn't have the budget to go to races where there was that much practice to take advantage of it. So excited to get up there. We sold our Hamkey 2 weeks ago, and my Fury had been sitting torn up since the charity race. So basically, I had to hang an entire body on it and finish fixing a bunch of stuff. And just got done, put the wrap on it about an hour ago, and just rolled it in the trailer right before I called you.
Well, man, we appreciate you taking the time. I've got Frank on, who's obviously a veteran crew chief in the space. Frank, can you hear me? And can you ask a couple questions here?
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. And yeah, up for me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And like you said, with the ARs, like you, even with we still have a couple rounds tomorrow. We got 2 hours on Friday, and another hour on Saturday, and I could still accomplish all that on 1 to 2 sets of practice tires. Like that's justifiable. Like before, I never even attempted to go to run that race because I'm like, we're going to need 8 sets of tires to get through the weekend to keep up with what everyone else is doing. So, and yeah, I agree with Ricky. I feel like he tries to cater to the dying middle class of racing because, like, you're always going to have your handful of elite teams with the budget doesn't matter, and then you have like, I don't want to sound demeaning, but field fillers. But like the working class racer who still brings a good enough car to run top five that can compete to win, but can't do it every week. Like this, there's fewer and fewer of us out there, and I feel like Ricky's put a lot of effort into trying to keep us, motivated to keep trying, basically, and make it to where it's a justifiable trip to go do. Like, honestly, I was going to bring my pro. My pro was sitting ready to go, and when Ricky told me that the car count wasn't what we were expecting, he's like, "Man, can you bring your super?" I'm like, I can try. And he's called or texted me every day for like the last 8 days in a row to see if I was going to have that thing ready. Like, so but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have brought it. Like, I didn't even really, like, work wise, I didn't really even consider bringing it because I didn't have the time to. But he stayed on me and got me motivated, and now I'm excited to go rip around there with 600 horsepower instead of 400.
I would say that he did the same thing. We were just going to bring one super, one pro. We were going to have Nick Neary run the super. Kendrick was going to run the pro. We ended up not getting the pro that we built, the one that we built from Wisconsin, our stuff that I built. So we brought that dart car that Grant had. So we brought that down with us. And that's new to me, as far as that car, set it up. I got Nate Stedman helped me out with it, and he knows them cars pretty good. So, I mean, we got out in it yesterday right away. We felt like, well, okay. Kendrick said, well, this thing's pretty good. And then we just got, we just want to smoothen it out now and keep up. Because, I mean, I'm getting lap times today. Michael Hine, and Michael was pretty good in the pro. I mean, I was actually, okay, he's got his stuff getting around there really good. Jet Nolan with Jimmy, Jimmy's Glover is the crew chief on that. They were getting around really good today, too. So, there again, like I said, everybody's just on the same set of tires, just like we were. But, yeah, I think, and it's weird, like, for me, like our pros up north, Daniel, it's so weird. Our pros are on they're actually on a 9-inch tire and an 8-inch rim, but no bumps. And we have 488 of them in the state of Wisconsin. And I was said in racing, the bump stops to me, like, hurt. I hate saying this, but it hurt racing because first it was, we put them on years ago. And I think you probably remember them times. This is, to me, is like early to mid 2000s. We put these bump stops and they were simple, right? We got the little Penske bumps, the little yellow cushions. We put them in the car and you went out there and that's it. This is going to save racing. And then 25 million companies come along and said theirs is better. And we're all buying this stuff. And now we're back to plan A. We're back home. It's straight up springs, put the springs on, no coil bind. The car has to crush 1 inch. And I was talking to Ricky about that with the pros. I go, down here, the pros are thin in Florida, but in the South, there's plenty of them. But I always wondered if that's the car, right? These supers, like you're saying, we take a super out, you've got to count the laps you're practicing because the motor's got to come out and get refreshed. The pro, run the damn thing, just keep running it and that sort of thing. So that's where people don't realize, what is it? Why they got bump stops, they got all the same stuff, the same tires. Yeah, but there's a time limit on the motor on the supers. The pro, you can just keep running them,
Yeah, I've said for a long time, like, I don't understand the current pro class because it's not any cheaper to run. It should be on an 8 or 9 inch tire. It should be on a non-bump stop. I've had this conversation. I had it last night with somebody. Wilson Martins was thinking about moving up from trucks to pros, and I'm like, man, it's not any cheaper. You're still going to be racing against me with my Weir's machine in the trailer and my selection of bump stops. Like, the only reason we bought a pro is because of the schedule, like to go run with Cars Tour or to go run a Pensacola race. Like, I feel like the schedule is a little bit more diverse than supers right now. That's the only reason that we went with the pro, just to try out some new tracks that supers don't go to these days. But cost wise, like, I mean, we could do an entire 2-hour show on what pros would or should be if we designed the division, because like they should be on a spec caliper that's only $200. Every bolt-on piece, they should be a spec $180 radiator in the pro, and it should be on the old red rebound only adjustable Penske that they started off on with ASA back in the day. Like, I agree. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've won a race on bump stops. I've got a lot of seconds lately, but in 2013 and 14, I won like 12 Super Late Model races, and they were all with a 175, 225 in the front on the little tracks and a 275, 300 at New Smyrna and Bradenton. And like, I've busted my ass to catch up to learn the bump stop stuff, but I don't think I'm as good. Like, I don't think you can be as creative in traffic when you have to hunt around and stuff like that. Like, because you have to be so finicky with how you load the brake pedal. And
Yep.
I know
Springs are a
I hate
lot
to
more
sound like
forgiving for sure. You know.
I hate to sound like a grumpy old man, but I miss the old conventional days where I just put my 175, 225 in the front, bounce on the nose, and put 2 rounds on the bar and go.
Yep. Yep.
And-
Now the technology's right. I'm the same way. I try to back home in the pros we can't run that. The supers we can run bumps, but yeah, I am 100% with you. And I said sometimes if you let the drivers come up with something, they'd come up with something because we all remember where we were at that time. I love the 8-inch tire back home because it falls off, and it's not that when AR has a great 8-inch tire. A lot of people, I don't know if they know about it down here, but that AR tire on the 8-inch repeats, but in the race you can't piss it off. But then you can make 10 laps calmly, and it kind of comes back to life, and then you race back through it. And we race that thing at home at Jefferson Speedway, and it's great, but that's why they have 35 cars every Saturday night. And that's the stuff that car's cheap, and they're a one-tire roll even. They're on a one-tire roll. And show up there, they got their tires there, and you get one new tire. That's it.
I love that. I mean, that's why I enjoy my Sportsman more than the Supers a lot of times because, it's conventional, spec shock. They're on the 9-inch AR. It's like the 955 tire, I think it is.
Yeah.
And like we went to Freedom Factory, 2 weeks ago? There was 33 cars there. And I bought one set of tires and finished second. Like I didn't put practice tires on. And it was like, I'm a little bit off on practice speed, but like we probably buy practice tires once a year with the Sportsman cars. And
I was too.
It's like, once you have, at least you have a decent rotation or whatever. But yeah, I agree. I like AR. I think AR did a better job with the 9-inch tire than the 10-inch tire. Personally, like the way it drives, the sidewall, and everything. Like I wish the pros were on that tire. I'm looking at a stack of them right now. I wish we were on them with more things.
And I think that might be coming down the pipeline. I'll be honest. I've heard some things just in the last couple weeks. I'll say where do we go with this? Right? We already have the super. That's don't take the pro and make it a hybrid, like a step down hybrid. I look at it how do we get that? Like one thing, I brag my state because we have 488 Pro Late models. We have 3 tracks running 30 cars weekly. How do we get that here? Because now home's here for me. I moved down here and we're doing this. It's like now I want to see that and help that if I could.
Oh yeah, and then I decided to do this for a living too. Which is a whole other thing of the balance of trying to be a crew chief and rent cars out and make my living in racing, but still get my fix of driving is a pain in the ass. But car count wise, I need racing to succeed down here because this is what until I find another career path that I actually enjoy doing that pays well and is worth my time and motivates me the way to fire the passion or whatever the racing does. I need racing to keep being healthy. We need it to trend the huge boost we had during COVID where there's nothing else to do. And there was, racing was kicking ass down here. Where do we get back to that momentum and then, propel it forward to where it's still affordable for people to do as it, it works so hard to be more and more expensive the longer it goes. There's a lot that can be done. You just have to, and I think Ricky's the right guy to push in that direction, to not cater just to the super teams. So, and that's why I'm going to go back to work when we get off the phone because trying to get my super ready to go support his event this weekend.
Yeah. Well, definitely looking forward to meeting you down here, Daniel. This is the first time I got to meet you. I never got to shake your hand or anything, but looking forward to it. Like I said, I think us racers, I'm an old racer myself. Like I said, this addiction, there's that I don't know what it is, but you're saying it's a passion and it's all we do when you're building race cars, working on race cars. It's 100% focus, and and when you got other things going on, I got employees and everything I deal with in my business. Well, when I'm at the racetrack, I'm not thinking of that. So, and I do it with my family. That's my son and my wife and down here. But yeah, it was awesome having you on for sure. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. And I'll see you. I think we get on track at 12 tomorrow. I'm shooting to be there about that.
Raining.
Well, yeah.
Otherwise, we'll see you at the honky tonk honky tonk bar or whatever it's called.
There's not a lot of options around there. And hey, anyone else listening, heading up, if you're a drinker, bring your alcohol with you because it's a dry county there.
Yeah, it is. They do have. We went to the Honky Tonk Saloon or whatever it was down the road. They have great burgers, and it's funny. You got to sign up, and then my son, he's 17 years old. They make him breathalyzer before he walks to the door. It was actually comical. So you're 17, and it was pretty good. But yeah, no, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for sure. Be safe on the way down.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, great to have Daniel on the podcast here, and man, we've got a great selection of guests here. Frank, what do you think? Daniel's got that little team that could mentality.
How do you keep them guys going? Right, that's the whole. That's what short track misses, keeping them little teams going, and having them little teams. Going and keeping the sport going, because more cars come, the more people come. And why? Who's coming? It's their fans and friends. And when you like, I love the big teams. They're coming no matter what. This is what they got, so much investment. And I was an A player in my racing career. I was. But when I bought a racetrack, I was humbled, and I find out, man, there's so many racers that barely can afford to be there. But that's the ones we have to cater to. Like he said, the blue collar worker, the mid class racer, how you get, the Daniel Websters and their families and them at the racetrack. And when you have big races like this, like I said, the tire does save racing here a little bit, but we go back to that super late model, that it's a very expensive race car. And it's not that the car is expensive. We can go buy the race car. It's just the technology to keep it going. I can't believe the changes we made this week on these cars, and we're still in the middle of finding them. I feel pretty good about our cars right now. I mean, are they winning race cars? Long run stuff, I think we're okay, but we're still short on a little bit of short speed, but we're okay with that because we're not in it for the short speed. We're in it for 125 laps, and then we get 4 brand new tires and do another 125 laps.
Fair enough. I still see Jake here, and I was just wondering if he could rejoin the chat.
I think you got me?
Yes, sir.
We got you.
All right, cool. Good stuff there from Daniel, and he reminded me I need to stop and get beer first.
Yeah, Dry County. I just talked to the sheriff this morning, and I said, "What's this Dry County thing?" And he goes, "Well, everybody comes in, but they put it all in Yeti cups," and I started laughing.
I'll tell you quick. Normally, when I go to a track, I always, especially like if I go for the first time, I always like to go to the concession stand and check to see if they have like a local like track favorite or like a type of food or whatever. And then I always try to look at like their food prices and just kind of compare them. And I was looking at looking up at the menu, and I'm like, I don't see beer anywhere. And then I wandered over. I'm like, maybe there's a beer booth somewhere else. And they reminded me that this is a dry county. And then they started pointing in several different directions that I couldn't get beer in either of those directions. So
it ain't just saying without a couple beers and some friends coming around. I always said that. Just like I said, there's that little honky tonk bar we went to a couple days ago. Yeah. Great. You're meeting the neighbors, right? You're meeting who's out there, and it was really neat. We were hoping to do the podcast from there tonight, but here at 7:00 we wanted to get going, and we just got cars loaded up and trying to get there, so we missed out. They were looking forward to having us there, and maybe we could do like a little live shot when you get down here, Allick, out of the Honky Tonk Saloon.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll actually be going up with Jake here Friday morning. Jake, you looking forward to this 7-hour drive?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's all good. I got 4 brand new sticker tires on the car. We're good to go.
Are they Goodyears?
No, they are not.
Oh, Hoosiers then?
No, not those either. No free ads here.
Fair enough. All right. Well, Frank, I think we did a pretty good job for our first remote podcast here. What are any closing thoughts?
Well, I'm barely hearing you. You can hear the race cars in the background. I'm in my motorhome, and it's still pretty loud. We're pitted on the back stretch, so as they're zipping by. But they must have kept this thing going a little bit longer tonight. I thought it was supposed to be done in 6, but there's a lot of the sportsmen. No, great show. It was awesome having Daniel on. Jake, nice chatting with you for sure. Listening to you, like I said, you can tell you the same thing. You got the passion, being a part of this thing. I'm new to the South. I don't want to say I'm totally new. I've been down here with Anthony Campy Racing when I was part of his program years ago, and then it's been years since I've been back down here. But this is all fun to me, and just doing this with my son and my wife, my family. I feel blessed in so many ways on the path that we're on down here. Grant Thormeyer giving us the opportunity to do this with his stuff, and this group of guys that we have in this team, new guys. Nate Stedman. Nate comes from he normally does the tech talk with me, but he comes from a long background of short track racing, but all the way from the NASCAR level too. So I feel like at times for me, this is the love I have for it. But I think it's going to be guys like us, honestly, to keep this sport and get it wrapped, get it to where it needs to go, and with guys like Ricky Brooks. So to the fans, I hope they all come on out. This is going to be a great race, and I guess put your beer in a Yeti. You'll be fine.
Sounds like it's going to be a good time, guys. Well,
thanks everybody for coming on, and we'll look forward to a great weekend, and we'll see you here soon.